Hi, welcome to Revenue Marketing Television, the CMO Insights series. I'm your host, Jeff Pedowitz, President and CEO of the Pedowitz Group. Today, we have industry icon and veteran, Eva Tsai, who's Chief Marketing Officer of Algolia. Eva, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Glad to be here.
So I've known you for a long time now, probably 9 years, I think, going back to your time at Citrix. And one of the things I always that struck me about you from day one, you were always performance driven, always about the analytics, always about the math, and I think that probably explains a lot of your success. But where did you get that from? Like, were you always that way, or did you have something earlier in your career that kind of inspired you?
Yes, interesting. So my journey to marketing is very different from typical marketer. I started out as an engineer. I went to MIT, majoring in computer science for both bachelor's and master's. And then afterwards, I worked as a developer and consultant in IT for the first 10 years of my life before I moved over to marketing. So when I moved over marketing, I look at it from an outsider perspective, probably a typical engineer perspective, and thinking, geez, all this money and all the things that marketing was doing, did any of that matter? So instinctively, I really wanted to measure everything that marketing was doing and whether that will contribute to the, to the end result. And I didn't realize at the time, but then by doing this, that ended up being my core DNA in terms of, building the foundation of my success for marketing for the second half of my career up to this point.
It's funny, I can relate to that because I started off in engineering too, and I ended up in marketing.
So yeah, yeah. So you probably have that outsider perspective. It's like, how would any of this matter, right?
It did. Well, I actually, even before that, in my teenage years, I worked in a bunch of restaurants, and then up in New Jersey, and you work with these Greek diners, and then they made you count everything and scrape the ketchup out of the bottle and count sugar packets and all that. So I think I was taught from a very young age, measure everything, account for everything, don't waste anything, right? So we learned that in engineering too.
Exactly.
So how did you make the change from engineering into marketing? What was it that inspired you to go in this direction?
I have to say that I kept on thinking about it. Early in my career, I wouldn't realize it at the time, but now kept on thinking that if I could have one superpower, what would that be? And then about past 10 years of my life, I realized that if I could have one superpower, the power I covet, the one I really wanted to have, is the ability to see the future, because the future fascinates me. And I so much wanted to actually piece together all the human interaction, the data, the science, and all that, and trying to really just peer around the corner to see what the future will be like. And marketing is really like that to me. It's a combination of psychology, behavior science, and also big data. And I feel like I'm getting paid to do what I really what I have always wanted to do. Is almost like the most practical paying job that I could have. That closely mirrors the dream job that I want to have.
I love that. All right, so let's test those superhero powers. Let's go out to the year 2030 now. 12 years from today. What's marketing going to be like?
I have to say that there's so much of the AI and then machine learning going on. At one point, that probably 5 years ago, when I was really doing a lot of performance marketing, what I wanted to do was really try to design this whole marketing engine that will be sending out, the ideal state for marketing for me, I think, will be what I call Michelin star marketing. I always enjoy dining in the Michelin star restaurant. Part of it is because of food, but part of it is amazing quality of service. That somehow the servers just have this amazing ability to predict that what you are going to have at what point in time. If I were to drop a fork before I have to say anything, they'll bring the fork to me. And if I ever get up to go to the bathroom or like go to leave the restaurant, they just know they will bring the jacket to me if they see that I'm about to leave the restaurant. So everything is just so amazingly timely, and I never had to ask for it. So I wanted to actually get marketing to the point that it's this whole big machine learning AI state that I could be off talking to you or off having vacation in Hawaii, and yeah, there's this self-designed machine that will be sending out personalized and relevant offers, the next best offer to whoever prospects the personas that we are talking to at the most appropriate time. when we get there, it will be so great.
Okay, so if machines and AI, they're gonna, I mean, they're already having an impact on marketing, and let's say your prediction holds true. How then does marketing change? Like the people, the skills? Do you have the same teams? Do you have the same structure, or how does that change? Does it go away even? I mean, because machines will market to machines.
I actually see it probably will be very similar to what we are seeing in a whole lot of the automation field, that oftentimes feel that people talk about machine learning and AI will displace a lot of jobs. And then I see probably going to that way as well, that a lot of the tactical things and then repeatable things can be automated by machines. And then marketing, the skill set we need will really need to be up level, designing the strategy and designing the roadmap, and also tweaking uh, tweaking the machines. So the jobs are not going away, but really that will shift away. I hate to say, I don't think that there's any blue collar resources in marketing, but essentially that the jobs skill set will be shifting more from the blue collar skill set to white collar skill set.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Um, and as you've been managing people for years now, have you had to adapt or change as the workforce is changing?
Yes, I would say part of my management philosophy is that, first of all, one of the mistakes I made in my career is that I think I stayed in a job too long due to the loyalty I have with my boss at the time. So from that experience, I realized that, as a manager, it's my job to work myself out of my current job. And then that has always been something that I push myself to do, because if I believe that I need to work myself out of my current job, then what that means is that I will continue to push the envelope and continue to push for innovation, as well as career growth for myself and for my teammates, the team members on my team. So yeah, I feel that as job changing and all that, people continue to have new skill set. If I'm actually doing the same job 2 years from now that I'm doing today, then I feel that I have failed. And then the same thing in terms of my team members. I always tell them that my job or my commitment to you is to actually get you much closer to your dream. So think about that, what you would like to do. And then your current job is not just your ideal job. The current job is actually preparation for your ideal job, preparation for your next job. So tell me what your next job will be, or next job will be, and we'll work to get you closer to your next job or ideal job. So yes, continue to learn new skill sets, and that's how we are different from machines.
I think that's a really healthy attitude towards it, because I think a lot of executives constantly stress with the turnover. And certainly in today's climate, people stay for a year or two. They're constantly moving to develop, and so it seems like
Yes.
right. You
Yeah.
just get to a point where you have your team where you want it, and then someone's leaving again. But it sounds like you almost you're creating it. You want that to happen. You're creating an environment where there's constant movement. Okay. So what's your
And in fact,
how do you recruit into that then? So do you have like I guess a farming system? Do you have like all people kind of lined up to kind of come in and keep to take over the newer jobs and then pushing people forward, or how does it work?
uh, a lot of times that I think about, one playbook is really how sales has been doing it. I look at how sales developing their people. Oftentimes that they have inside sales people. Once they have mature or done well, they move on to outside sales and start from the SMB, small and mid business segment, and then move on to mid market segment, and finally on to enterprise. I feel that marketing has the same way too, that for a whole lot of email marketing, that tends to be the one that's actually churning the fastest, because that tends to be a fairly mechanical part of the job. So then a lot of marketers will have to decide that whether they wanted to have that in-house or whether they wanted to outsource to an agency, right? That could do that for their full-time job. So think about that. And on top of it, the same way to people coming in, what their career path will be. Do they actually wanted to start out in marketing ops and move on to demand gen, onto growth? And then the same way to the PMM, and then go on to corporate marketing or some sort of leadership. There are different ways that people would like to pick up different skill sets. Now, sometimes they're not necessarily linear, but sometimes horizontal, so they can build out their portfolio for their next dream job. So trying to understand what the ideal job for that person is, and then lay out the plan, and also layer that into what the organization would need. Oftentimes that will come up to the tailor specific personalized career plan for the person.
Okay. And what are the one or two qualities you look for in an employee that you want to join your team?
I wanted to say, no surprise, ability to learn. I believe in growth mindset rather than fixed mindset. I have two daughters. One is 10-year old, one is 7-year old. And when I just went to their back to school night last week, the teachers were talking about that it's really imperative for kids to believe in growth mindset. That as long as they put in the effort, they can expand and then continue to learn new skill sets. So that's something I really look for in the people I I hire. The second thing I look for is resourcefulness or grit, that ability to actually adapt to the new situation. I feel that nowadays with the technology continuing to change and the business continue to shift, there are so many different variables that we all have to tackle and deal with. So ability to just go with the flow and trying to figure out what's the best way forward, never be surprised or disappointed by what's going on. So resourcefulness or grit is the second thing I'm looking for.
Okay. I like that. So we were talking a little bit before the interview started about you're the first CMO at Algolia. They haven't had marketing before. What is that? What is that like when a company doesn't have marketing and you're coming in and you're trying to get it established?
It was a really interesting experience. This is the first time I have ever worked in an environment that just never had any prior knowledge of marketing before. The company, this is actually exactly the reason I joined this company. I used to be a developer, and then I believe that the new type of marketing is this what I call product-led growth company, that the product will speak for itself, sell itself pretty much. So the company, Algolia, is exactly that type. The two founders that they have PhD in computer science, they have decades of experience in search. So they built this amazing product that provide Google-like search experience for all the business out there, hosted through API. And search is an extremely complicated problem to tackle. When I was a developer, more than 10 years ago, in 2000, I was an architect for the first Walmart.com site at the time that we are dealing with search. So I knew how complicated search could get. So I always wanted to join a SaaS and then developer-led company, and this is why. But the flip side of joining such a company is that developers really don't believe in marketing. In fact, that I think Google co-founders were famously saying that they wouldn't need any marketing to sell their product, that the product would just be able to sell itself. So I came into Algolia with this kind of mentality. A lot of people don't understand what marketing is supposed to be doing. But gradually, over the past half a year, we start to realize that marketing is really critical for brand awareness, so leadership, demand gen, as well as growth. And then, going through that process, just a lot of education alignment and also continuing to figure out who will be, on this ride together to tackle change management. So it has been going well from that perspective in terms of, educating, learning, and then aligning with the team.
That's great. So you've always you went to a world-class tech school. You've been in and around tech pretty much your whole career. What's your take on how technology has shaped the arc of marketing over the last 20 years, and what's going to happen in the next 20?
I think that many people in marketing have heard this before, and then I feel the same way too. That in some way, I feel that technology has shifted so many facets of our life, right? It's really, when I graduated from college 20 years ago at the time, that I don't think that people really understood what internet would do. That was before the dot-com days. So, and then marketers at the time, by and large, were more what we call the corporate marketing people, tend to be the creative agency people. One classic example is my older sister. She's actually a brand marketer in Greater China, and she does all the hugely creative campaigns. She uses her right brand a whole lot. And yet, funny thing is that she, at the end of the day, she doesn't even know how much she's getting paid. I mean, what she does is that every month or every quarter, she will actually send me whatever amount of money she has, and I will do all the investment for her. And
Wow.
whenever we talk, we gather, yeah, and we actually talk about, interestingly, that she does the old style of marketing, the creative type, and I do the new style of marketing. Growing up, we always felt that we two were completely different, but yeah, we both are in marketing today, you know. And this is what I think, that what technology has changed marketing. That if technology hasn't been such a critical part of what we do, the digital transformation, I would say that people like me, in terms of the background I have, would not be in marketing today. And then as technology continue to take over, automate, and then also optimize every part of our job, I see that's changing. We talked about before, everything from manufacturing all the way to uh, driverless car, and then all the automation in home appliances, as well as marketing, sales. It's changing everything. So
Indeed, it has. So, Eva, always great to talk to you. Great insights, amazing career you've built, and best of luck at Algolia going forward.
thank you.
You bet. Thanks for being on the program today.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.